Now I'd like to introduce Anita Pratley, the captain of Station 21 and a member of our Cancer Prevention Foundation.
Thank you. My colleagues know I love attention and I'm kind of a media glutton, but anyway, I'm here to actually tell my story. I have a lot of stories, but this is my firefighter story. I think Tony and a lot of people, the mayor, talked about the exposure and things like that. I want to tell you what it was like to be sworn into the San Francisco Fire Department. First of all, I met Tony in 1988. He recruited me. They were targeting women, lots of groups, but they were definitely targeting women, and he was committed to making sure that whoever he recruited was prepared. I remember when I first met him, I thought, whatever my fantasy of a firefighter was, he was that and then some. I wanted to be like him, I wanted to emulate him, and I listened to him. He gave me a baseline test, told me what I needed to do, I did it. I was lucky I scored high enough to come in. I came in, and lo and behold, Tony was my training officer. It was amazing. He was tough with us, he prepared us, he told us what we were supposed to know, and he got us ready to be fairly good beginning firefighters. I've always carried Tony in my heart. I never ever thought that I'd emulate Tony in getting cancer. I did what I was supposed to do. I ate well, sometimes too much. I always worked out. I was very committed to the fire department. I remember when we graduated fire college, I raised my right hand and I said the oath to the commitment, because we all made a commitment to you, the citizens of San Francisco, and we love that commitment, and we never forget that commitment. But I remember when I was raising my hand, I said to myself, Anita, be safe, be smart, do what you're supposed to do. I never ever thought about cancer. In 2003, I felt a rough spot on my breast. It wasn't the typical frozen pea that all the pamphlets said. So I went to the doctor, I went for a mammogram, and the mammogram said negative. But being the health-conscious / hypochondriac that I am, I pressed the doctors a little, and they were aggressive too. They did an ultrasound, took a sample, found the spot. Next day I went to work, I got the diagnosis of cancer. I was in the firehouse, and most people would be uncomfortable, I'll tell you the truth, being in the firehouse getting that diagnosis, because you're very vulnerable, you're in shock. For those of you out there that have had it, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you out there that haven't had it, your fantasy is probably accurate. I was vulnerable, I even cried, I called everyone to the comm room, but you know what? I love that I was in the firehouse. They were supportive, they were real, they made me feel strong, and they believed in me, and they encouraged me. The fire department has encouraged me throughout that whole process. In fact, I was able to stay at work. I had 33 doses of radiation, removed the lung, and I wasn't sick or weak, so I was able to stay at work. I feel like I held up my end of the bargain, and I'll tell you the truth, you can't stop asking when you first get it, how did this happen? Why me? You know, I didn't want to sit in that oncology waiting room. I didn't want to sit next to the woman that had 2-time uterine cancer. I didn't want to sit next to her and talk to her. She freaked me out, but I was her. The difference between she, myself, and some of the colleagues that I have watched over the years and break my heart, that I actually feel like the lucky one. And I'm sure Tony feels that too. We survived it. In fact, right after I got diagnosed, I ran into my colleague, Allison Green. Allison came in around when I did. She was very strong, smart, a lot tougher than I could ever be. She was supportive, and she talked to me about how her mother had breast cancer, and we talked about it. A year later, Allison Green got diagnosed with breast cancer, and about 2 years after that, she passed. We can't stop asking how, why, and most important, what can we do? The people that have shaped my career, Pete Seckles, Jim McDonough, Danny Armenta, multitudes, and my friends that have survived like Denise, and my friend John Murphy, who I gave a eulogy last month to. John was there calling me 10, 11 years ago, checking in with me, and then it was my turn to check in with him. I was devastated. I have love for my colleagues. It breaks my heart, and still does. We can't stop asking, how did this happen, and what can we do? So Tony and I, we are the lucky ones, and we'll keep, with your help and support and your awareness, we'll end this, and we'll make our commitment to you, and now we need to make a commitment to ourselves for our own safety. Let's never stop asking, and let's make our stories happy endings. Thank you.